So I'm gonna keep it closed, but it's not gonna be right in the way, and then I'll make my way down to laying down, which is my favorite. This is my favorite thing about Pilates, is I like being able to get in the mood, kind of get in the mindset. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to talk about your midline. I talk about all the time, but I'm going to talk about it again in a different context. So one of the things we usually do is we have our legs bent and we talk about trying to monitor our pelvis with our brain, but I'm going to do some things today that make it less work, because again, when I tuck under, I change my shape, and I don't do it on purpose. Like, it's not trying to change my shape, versus keeping a lot of space through the crown of my head. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some of the work with straight legs. But when I'm thinking about bringing everything home, so whenever we're talking and you're directing yourself, I just want you to think of bringing everything back home, and then your midline is like what we're attracting things to, okay? So it's not gonna be, sorry, something fell. Good times, good times. The cat wasn't even by it. It's just a ghost. There we go. Okay. Did it work? Okay, now we should be good. Ugh. Okay, back to it. Everything's gonna go back to the midline. So what I wanna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start with my legs. This is pretty normal. I'm gonna start with my camera leg, and I'm gonna let it open to the side. I'm kind of getting a little stretch. Maybe you're not really tight there, so you don't. But then I'm gonna take my rib and my pelvis. It's about the distance of my hand, and I'm gonna squeeze those muscles to pull that leg back in. Again, not super challenging yet, but we'll get there. And I'm gonna squeeze it in. And I'm gonna breathe in. This can also come from the ribs coming together like a corset, but I like to think like there's a fishing string here, and if I arch, then it breaks the fishing string. And I'll do 3 more. 3. Can you roll into the inside of the moving leg's heel? 2. And 1. Good. Now I want you to go ahead and squeeze this together, versus letting it be up. And then can you take that same leg and can you march it up and then tap it back down? And then march it up and tap back down. And I'm thinking about that fishing line here that I've created. And then other things that are like in the back of my head is relaxing my shoulders and then finding length through the crown of my head, but it's not moving, so it's all in the right place. Good. And then go ahead and keep that leg up there. And then what I'd like you to do is, again, get your fishing line on the other side heavy, get your glute heavy, and you're gonna open to the side, and then you're gonna squeeze the muscles into your fingers. This is important to me because your spine is stable, which means your muscles are working on stability, and it's not burning. It's not super sexy because you don't really feel burning, but it'd be weird to feel burning all the time, and it is much healthier to have your body strong straight than it is to have it strong in a crunch all the time, because then you'll be crunching all the time. We got 2, and then last one. Good. And then I'll set that leg down. I'm going to do the same thing. So you'll be able to see this side if it wiggles or not. So my bra line is down. I have a little tiny space on my low back. I'm sitting on my tailbone, all the things we talked about. And I'll let the other leg drop open, and I'm going to squeeze this side. This side's going to hold tight. And because I can't feel it burn, I'm going to use my fingers. I'm going to get to know myself. I'm like, okay, it's working. Or is it not working? Or how do I make it? And this is that growth part. This is the learning part. I'll go 4, 3, squeeze, 2, and this side isn't lifting, it's staying down, 1, and then I'll keep it tight, and then I'm going to lift the leg up for 8 and set it down. It's nice and tight in front. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then I'll keep it up, and then I'm going to go ahead and keep this side heavy, and I'm going to open, and I'm going to keep my pretend little string right here, and then pull it back in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then I'll go ahead and set it down. Good. So that's enough kind of starting with the legs. So hopefully your legs are like nice and in place, and you're pulling this like taut. So now we're gonna start with we're gonna ease into something. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my hands behind the nape of my, oh no. I skipped something, sorry. I'm gonna take my hands up towards the ceiling, and I wanna shrug, just like you're on the foam roller, I wanna shrug up, and notice when you shrug up, your core can like move, your ribs move a little bit, and then I want you to pull down, and try to keep your ribs down without letting them arch. That would be the normal thing. So I'm gonna reach, but that you have that fishing string, and so I'm not moving from my ribs, I'm keeping my ribs in place by squeezing my core, and I'm just moving from the shoulders. So that's something to think about, which is why I have to be descriptive and explain. That's why I like low lighting, so that you can feel it instead of trying to move as far as you can. Being able to keep your ribs the same and move the shoulders. Okay, so now I'm gonna stop somewhere in the middle, and then again, not super exciting, but I'm gonna take one of my arms, I'm gonna open it up to the side, and then I'm gonna squeeze and pull it back in, like I had the magic circle, and I'll do the same arm, and I'm gonna squeeze and pull it in. This will be really handy later, I promise. Good. 3. So if you could see, when I pull it in, 4, this shortens. 5, so that when I carry in my groceries, 6, or I open my car door, push my car door close, 7, I'm using my core, and 8, and then I'll use the other hand. I'm gonna open it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze and pull it in tight. I'm gonna keep my ribs down, because again, when my hands go long, it makes me wanna expand, and that's okay for some things, it's just not for this. I'm gonna open and close for 4, 3, 2, and our shoulders are nice and stable, 1, and then just for fun, we're gonna do both arms open. That should feel kind of good, T position, and then squeeze, and I'm doing it without humping my shoulders, or at least I'm trying not to. I'm pulling it in. So think of leaning more pinky side, good, 3, and what I'm doing is I'm just taking a collective 4, because this isn't super exciting, but a collective of where my body sets 5 when it's not under stress, and I can make stuff happen, 6, 7, and we do this on the foam roller, but we usually don't do this on the floor, so I want to do this. I'm going to take my camera arm, and I'm going to pull my ribs down, and I'm going to reach up and overhead, and then I'm going to let it come back up. And I'll do the same arm for 4, so I'm going to squeeze this down and bring it back up. So when you reach overhead, I want you to push your bra line down. So it's going to create more of a stretch, or test you a little bit. Good. And then I'll do the same thing with the other arm. I'm going to squeeze, and this arm is kind of like my lighthouse. It helps keep the gravity. And we'll do both arms in a second so you can see. So you're gonna have to squeeze really tight to create space. And 1. And then I'll take both hands, and I'm gonna push my ribs down, and I'm gonna reach up as far as I can, and I'm gonna push the ribs down, and then I'm gonna bring it back up. And then I'm gonna exhale, and I'm gonna push my ribs down. I'm gonna lengthen through the crown of my head by kind of drawing my chin towards my chest. I'm gonna squeeze, 3. And if I was in the same room as you, I'd come poke your belly button and make sure it's tight, and it's tight pulled in. And I'll do 4 more. 4, 3. I've been seeing a lot of people with tight necks and shoulders, which is why I almost forgot this. Just because we're all on the internet now, which is good. We gotta take care of our bodies. Okay, and that being said, now we're gonna go up and we're gonna do big arm circles. So I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna do a big arm circle, kind of sweeping the floor. And we'll go 4 one way and 4 the other. But I don't want your ribs to go like big and down and out. I want you to try and keep your torso kind of like a plank, but without all the pressure on your wrist. And then last one. And then we'll go the other way. And that should feel kind of good. You should feel your shoulder blades moving a little bit. I don't usually circle my arms like this in a regular day, but like that's how we kind of secretly over the years lose range of motion. So just being able to do this. Okay, and now back to business. So I'll take my hands behind my head. My shoulders are open and did the thing, but my core stayed tight because we just did that. So now I'm going to sit on my tailbone. I want to breathe in through my nose, and I'm going to exhale 3 times to curl up. So I'm going to exhale 1, 2, 3, and get out all the air. Check your horizon here, and then lengthen yourself down. You're going to exhale 1, 2, 3, and then back down. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to go ha, 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 and lengthen back down. So I get all of the air out. 3, and then again. And we have about 4 more. 4, and down. So this is a little slower. Exhale, 2, 3, and that's 3. We got 2 more. Good. And then last one. And then make sure you're sitting on your tailbone, you're not tucked under. And I want you to give little pulses right from the ribs. Now it's not your ribs that are like moving you, it's the rectus, but that's kind of where they insert. But I can see my ribs, I can only fathom my rectus. Or remember it from an old biology book or whatever. Good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my right foot and I'm going to slide it out, and then I'm going to send my elbows out wide and I'm going to pull it back in. And I'll take the same leg and then I'm going to pull it in 2. And I'm trying to again find that, make that fishing string even tighter. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then I'll switch to the other leg. I'm going to inhale, extend, and then draw it in for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now I'm going to stay up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to inhale, and I'm going to twist towards you guys. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to twist my torso, and then I'm going to inhale back through the middle. I'll go the same direction. Twist 1, 2, 3, and then back. Good. And again, 3, 2, 3, and again, 4, 2, 3, and I'm bringing this rib down to the pelvis. 2, 3, good. 6, 2, 3, good. Direction. 7, 2, 3, and last one. 8, 2, 3. Now I'm going to go back to the center, and I'll go the other direction. I'm going to go 1, 2, squeeze deep, and then back down. Inhale, exhale, 1, 2, 3, and back down. 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, and 8, 2, 3. Good. Now we're going to make a rainbow with our back. Okay, so can you curl up to the middle? I'm going to look back towards you, and then I'm going to come up through the middle, and I'm going to look around the other way. I'm going to come up through the middle and look. And I'll come up through the middle and look. We got 4 more. 4. Nice. 3. You're making a rainbow. 2. And 1. And then I'm going to come back to the middle. And then I'm going to take my my left leg. It's my camera leg. It doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to squeeze and pull it back in. I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to squeeze and pull it in. 2. 3. 4. Good. 5. 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so now I move my left leg. Hear me out. I'm going to extend my right leg, and he's going to stay there. He's going to help neutralize my pelvis so that I can't do like this business. I have to keep it long. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that left leg again, and I'm going to twist towards the left leg. Yeah. And I'm going to inhale, open. I'm going to press into the right heel. I'm going to twist. 2. Good. And again, exhale. 3. Like we practiced. 4, yeah. 5, I've been working on some kind of leg down stuff at first. 6, 7, and 8. Now can you stay twisted? Can you inhale and can you exhale? Can you lift the leg up and tap your knee and then set it back down? And then you're going to twist and tap up 2 and set it back down. Good. 3, and I want you to deepen. 4, you look so good. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then I want you to send your leg out by your other leg. And then I want you to draw it back in. If that makes your quads tired, you can slide it back in, okay? 2, 3, 4. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to exhale, pull everything in tight. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then I'll keep the leg straight. And then I'm going to lift it up and twist for 8. And be gentle on my hamstrings. 7, 6, but also liberate. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and take that leg down, and I'm going to slide it in and twist it, and then bring it back out. We're going somewhere with this. I'm going to twist 2, slide it back out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I don't expect this to be pretty. Okay, I'm going to set my head down, and I'm going to inhale, I'm going to exhale, I'm going to curl, and I'm going to touch the mat, and then lay my head back down. And I'm going to curl and reach. 2, yes. 3, if your neck gets tired, sometimes mine does, I just support my neck when I reach. 4, 5, I say it's because I have a big brain. 6, that makes me feel better. 7, and it's not a competition, but the girls could do this last night. Then I would ask you, can you set yourself up and touch and set yourself back down? Set yourself up, yep, and twist back down. 2, 3. You can do it, yes. 4, 5, so good. We start so nice. 6, 7, and 8. That is what I have for that side, but it was a lot. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead on down. I'm gonna slide the other leg in. And then the first thing we did, we're gonna start at the beginning where we just go straight up, okay? So I'm gonna inhale, I'm gonna exhale, I'm gonna curl myself up and then lengthen back down. Curl. I'm gonna try to keep my abs relatively engaged so I don't pop up. And again, 2, 3, and I want to take you back to your breathing. 4, I get superficial sometimes when it gets harder. 5, I'm pressing into my heels. 6, without tilting my pelvis. 7, and 8. And then what we did is we're going to take the other leg and it's going to open and we're going to curl up deeper for 8, because we're talking about pulling everything into the midline. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now what we did is we extended that other leg out. I'm going to press into that heel so my glute's stable, so my pelvis is stable, and I'm going to open that leg again and I'm going to twist towards it for 8. Inhale, exhale, send the ribs towards the pelvis. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to stay twisted. I'm going to march the leg up for 8 and tap. I'm going to squeeze that. 6. Oh my gosh. This is 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'm going to send my leg out and I'm going to twist it back in for 8. Reach. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then I'll take my leg straight and I'm going to lift and twist for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'll set the leg down and I'm going to slide it in and twist for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then I'm going to take my hands and then I'm going to curl up and I'm going to touch for 8 and lay myself back down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we try to do the kind of half a roll up. So whatever, I can't see, but I know it's challenging. 2, I use maybe a little more momentum than I want. 3, but that gives me something to work on. I like that. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Yeah, we did it. Okay, so we're gonna go back to core. We're not done, but I want to do a little side butt thing real quick, just to get our obliques. Our obliques are so on. Yeah, water is great, and I know this is Pinot, and I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to give you guys drink breaks if you even brought that. So water is probably good too. I'm gonna tuck my knees up and in, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pull those obliques that we were just like twisting from, and then twist them up and in so that your shoulders are stacked and you're building yourself like this instead of like this, which makes things go into the hip socket versus into the musculature. So I'm gonna flex and then I'm gonna go ahead and rotate open and then squeeze shut. The other thing I'm naughty about too is I will drive this back, 3, and I wanna reach my knee out, 4, because that helps with my pelvis. 5, 6, and then I'll put my hands here to make sure those muscles stay on. 7 and 8. You look great. And you're going to pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5. Look at your shoulders, guys. Good. 3. Looks so good. 2 and 1. And then I'm going to touch my knee and I'm going to reach around and touch my heel. 1, 2, and touch, yeah. 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then I'm going to open up for diamonds. I'm going to lift my heels up super high, and then I'm going to rotate open. And again, I'm going to try not to lean back. I'm going to try and push the top of my knee away. That helps. And I'll go 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then I'll set the bottom leg down. I'm going to hover the top leg about the right height. I'm going to tuck it in, and I'm going to push back, and I'm going to squeeze my butt with my brain and push open, and then I'm going to bring it forward again. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to exhale, press back. 2, and again. 3. Now I get kind of lazy here, so I have to remember to keep my bones on top of each other. 4. That looks good. That looks good. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then I'll extend my leg to straight. I'm going to stretch it forward and then squeeze it back. Good. 1. Oh, look at those legs. Woo! 2, 3. Enjoying a semi-hamstring stretch. 4 until we get to the other stuff on the back. 5, 6, 7, and now I'm going to kick into circles. So I'm going to go forward and I'm going to kick and open for a circle for 8. Good. 7. This is where the oblique becomes really important, because if I go like this, I can go further, but then I start popping a little bit. 4. So if you feel it's not a big deal. 3. But there's a way to fix it. 2, and 1. And go ahead and reverse it. You're going to draw it back for 8. Good. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, good. 1. And then I'll go back to level, and I'm going to go into bicycle. So I'm going to angle back. I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to extend it and then drive it back for 8. 7, good. 6, and we've been a little closer to our bodies. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then I'll reverse it. I'm going to reach. I'm going to try to pick that oblique up off the floor when it gets saggy. 2, 3, good. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then kind of my favorites here. I'm going to hold it forward. I'm going to bend and give a little kick for 8. And if my leg gets tired, I just set it down. 7, 6. This is my lazy butt. 5, which means it takes longer for it to work. 4, so I apologize. 3, if your rocking butt's getting tired. 2, and then the last thing is we're going to set your leg down and you're going to lift it the best you can for 8. 7, 6, good. 5, 4, 3, so strong, ladies. 2, and 1. Okay, so I'm going to take that leg down. I'm going to put that foot down. I'm going to roll to my back, and I'm going to cross that free leg that was lazy and did nothing. He's going to cross over, and then I'm going to use that same, it's a little different side with gravity, and then I'm going to lift up, and then I'm going to set it back down. And I'll lift up and set it back down. And again, 3. I'm going to try to relax my shoulders. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to hold it up and pulse for 8, relaxing shoulders. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then again, I want to make sure this is collected because we worked so hard on it. And I'm going to untangle the leg, and I'm going to toe tap, and then lift up for 8, 7, 6, breathe, 5, and try to let go what you don't need. 4, 3, 2, and then I'll take the free leg and I'm going to send it out and then pull it back in for 8, 7, 6, so we're going to stop after this. 5, so you know how much energy to give. 4, pull it in tight. 3, 2, and 1. And then I'll set the leg down. I'm going to set myself down with grace and kind of stretching out that low back. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I can look at you. I'm going to go ahead and turn around the other way. Whoop. Because you're so pretty and you left your cameras on and I get to see you. I like that. So now you kind of know what you're working with. And why that's important is because you guys are really smart and you got to know how much to give. like, can give more if it's only 8, and I can't give as much if it's like a million. So now you kind of know how to like keep the quality, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna make myself nice, and then as I get better, my quality can go higher for longer, and that's the gift. So yep, you're right, you're gonna open up for clam. Thank you. 1, 2, nice. 3, look good, stack shoulders. 4, and there's like space here. 5, your muscles are on. 6, and if they're not, you can just squeeze them. 7, and then hold it up and pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'm going to touch my knee, and I'm rotating for moving my femur, my hip socket so it doesn't get stuck. 2, nice. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then I'm going to go into diamond where I lift my heels up, and then I'm going to go ahead and rotate open and close. And again, I'm trying not to lean back, even though that feels easier. 3, 4, that looks really good. Good stability. 5, good discipline on your part. 7, now I'm going to set the bottom leg down, and then I'll make this about level, and then I'm going to bring it in, and then I'm going to press it, and then open up my hip and my quad. Inhaling and exhaling, making that wall of muscle here. Inhaling and exhaling. 3, good. 4, this is also my wall of chocolate chips. That's where I store those 2. 6, yeah. 7, and 8, and then I'll take my legs straight. I'm going to stretch my hamstring as far as I can, and then I'm going to squeeze it back for 8, good. 7, 6, that looks really good. 5, good, and you're not cheating yourself on distance. 4, 3, 2, and then I'm going to kick into circles. So I'm going to kick and circle the best I can for 8. Yeah, that looks good. 7, 6, and I'm trying super hard with my brain not to like move my pelvis like that. 4, I'm trying to keep it nice and stacked. 3, 2, and 1, and then we'll take it the other way. Again, you know how much to give. 8, 7, 6, 5, perfect. 4, breathing. 3, and letting that tension leave your shoulders if it even visits. And then we're going to go into bicycles. So I'll bring it in, I'm going to extend and bring it back for 8, good. 7, 6, yeah, mama. 5, 4, your wall of muscle still on. 3, 2, and 1, and then we'll take it the other way. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 2 more things, kind of. You're going to bend and then extend for 8, good. 7, legs getting heavy. 6, 5, but my stubbornness is heavier. 4, 3, 2, and then I'll keep my legs straight, and I'm going to finish by setting it down and then lifting it up for 8. Good job. Using from there. 7, 6, fine-tuning our hinge system. 4, 3, 2, and if you remember, we're going to set it behind us. Now let's turn on, and we're going to roll to our backs, and I'll cross that other leg open, which is kind of a nicer stretch here, and then I'll start, yep, looking good, ladies, and I'll start by lifting up and then setting it back down. I'm going to lift. So now we took the side by like the medius and minimus, and then we started recruiting the max on top of it, which is awesome. 4, 3, 2, and then we're going to hold it up and pulse. 1, 2, belly button tight. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm going to stay super sturdy as I untangle this leg, and I'm going to tap, just like we did before with the core, and lift. Tap and lift. 3, nice. 4, push those booties up. 5, 6, 7, and then the last move is we're going to send the leg out and then pull back in for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, so good, 2, and 1. And we'll set it down, and we'll set ourselves down with so much nice control. And then I'm gonna stretch out my hamstrings a little bit because that can work. So I'm gonna take my legs out straight. I'm gonna take my hands. We're gonna do a little choreography with our arms as we go. So just know it's okay to mess up. I'm gonna do a regular roll up. So I'm gonna go ahead and reach through my heels. I'm gonna nod my chin and I'm gonna roll myself up. First time of the day, technically. And then I'll stretch myself towards my toes. And then I'm gonna grow really tall. And then I'm gonna keep this space. I'm gonna keep my shoulders back and I'm gonna lengthen from my tailbone. Stay tall, tall, tall. And you're gonna set yourself down. And then I want you to reach up and overhead, stretch those shoulders, and then bring your hands up towards the ceiling, nod your chin, reach, push. Good, do whatever you need to do. And then reach forward, stretch through your toes. And then bring yourself back upright. Make sure you get the habit of sitting up tall in between, and then keeping tall as you move from your tailbone. And that'll lead your spine. And that likes to be led. It doesn't like any shocking news. And then a big stretch. We just got 2 more. So I'm gonna nod. I'm gonna try and bring myself up tall, and I'm gonna reach for my toes. And I'll sit nice and tall. And then last time down. And I'll bring my hands up. And then I'll go ahead and bring it up. And again, I'm saying this, but this is a lot for to benefit the hamstrings here. Well, okay, now we're gonna play a little game. Good, good, good. So the game, it goes something like this. I'm going to bring my hands out as I go down, which is gonna make you go down faster, okay? So I'm gonna bring my hands down and out. I'm gonna circle, and then I'll bring them back up, and then bring myself up tall. And then, I'm gonna open out wide, and I'm gonna set myself down the best I can, and then I'm gonna bring my hands. We just got 2 more. So I'm gonna try to bring my hands out with control, and just a heads up, we're gonna reverse this. And then bring it back up. And then last one, because we're only doing half times. We're only doing 4. Yeah. Now, if you've been working hard, your back is tight, this is why it's a little bit harder, but that's okay. That's just saying, okay, I showed up to work on myself and I'm getting that. Okay, so the difference is now is what I like you to do. I like to start laying down better. I think this makes more sense. I'm gonna bring my hands up. I'm gonna circle around, and I'm gonna bring it around to lift myself up. So I'm gonna bring my hands up, I'm gonna lay myself down, and I'm gonna do my circles this way, and lift myself up. And then I'll bring my hands back up. I ideally want my biceps to stay by my ears, but sometimes they angle a little bit to help I don't flop. And then I'm gonna circle and lift myself up, very similar to reformer movements, and this is the last one. So I'm gonna keep my biceps by my ears, and I'm gonna plop, if that's what nature intended. And then I'll bring it around. Oh, good. And then one final hamstring stretch while you're up here, okay? Because we're gonna need those hamstrings to cooperate. If you feel like your hamstrings or your low back are gonna fight you, use the foam roller, because the foam roller is everything. So just a quick thing on that. If you feel your core, then that would be like hard but gratifying. But if you feel your low back or your quads, it's annoying. It's not gratifying at all. So again, as we go through leg stuff, just do this, okay? And that'll bias you, especially depending on how long you've had to work on the computer or whatever. I'm gonna not use it, but if you feel it, then that's what I want you to do, okay? Now it'll stay right here because I want you to have control over that. That also being said, when you're propped up here, oh sorry, I'm on my hair. Your movement, I still want your shoulders open, and you can still move. But you of course won't go as high because you're like already biased back this way, okay? So just know it's not gonna be quite as big, but it'll be better if that's what you choose. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to some core stuff. I'm gonna take my hands behind my head. I wanna sit on my tailbone versus pushing down on my low back. And then I'm gonna start with that basic thing. So I wanna make sure I get it right. I'm gonna inhale, I'm gonna exhale, I'm gonna curl up, and then I'm gonna lengthen back down. Foam roller or not, yeah. 2, and back down. 3, 4, 5, yes, 6, 7, and 8, and then I'll pulse. 8, 7, 6, squeezing things to the middle. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now what I'd like to do is I'm gonna stay up here, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring my right leg up to tabletop, and I'll bring my left leg up. Why I'm measuring, your arm is like perfect for your body.
Ideally, I'm working, so see how my arm is like my good lever system? If you need to angle yourself or you have the foam roller, this helps your core fire when you're here, okay? This is more of a challenge. This is more ideal because like if I were sitting, this is what I would sit like. I wouldn't necessarily sit like this. So again, we're gonna try there. And anytime you wanna check yourself, and I will on occasion to make sure I try to stay there, okay? So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna take my camera leg and I'm gonna tap my toe down. I'm gonna curl up deeper and then I'll bring it back up. And then I'm gonna tap it down, 2, and bring it back up. 3, 4, 5, and I'm trying to pull that belly button in, 6, and that is such a freaking 7 adventure, and 8. Now I'm gonna go ahead and toe tap and I'm gonna twist towards the leg. I'm gonna toe tap and I'm gonna twist towards that leg and then bring it back down, which is why you practice so much at the beginning. Twist 2, and this leg is staying still. 3, 4, 5, good job. 6, 7. Now I'm gonna twist the other way to the other leg for 8 and pull it back center. 7, 6, 5. Exhale, squeeze 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now I'm gonna go back to the middle and I'll take that same right leg and I'm gonna send it out and I'm gonna tap my heel down or pull it back in. If you do not wanna tap your heel, bring it up. 2, like this. 3, 4, 5. Oops, 6. I started closing my elbows. What am I doing? Good. Your elbows are great, guys. 7. And now I'm going to twist towards that leg as I bring it in. I'm going to twist towards the leg as I bring it in. And then I'm going to send it back out. Twist towards the moving leg. 2. Yes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my gosh, 8. Now I'm going to twist the other way. I'm going to twist towards that non-moving leg and then pull it back in. I'm going to deepen as I twist and then pull it back in. 3, 4, inhale, exhale. 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to go back to the middle where I lift the leg up and then I'm going to drop it down and pull it in tight. I'm going to lift it up and drop it in. More, so I'm going to make space. 3, 4, 5. Guys, you look so strong. Oh my gosh. 6. I'm going to brag on you. 7. And then I'm going to twist towards that moving leg. Twist. 8. And back down. 7. 6. Nice straight legs. Nice. You're worth it. 5. You are worth the work. 4. 3, 2, and then I'll twist towards that non-moving leg for 8. Bring everything center. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you happy? Okay, try not to set your feet down. Try to hold them. So you keep all the electricity. Oh, you did it, you did it, you did it. Ah, I can see you guys really clear because there's like 3 of us. So this is good. I can't always see as much for whatever reason. Oh, okay, so we got one more side. So I'm going to go ahead and find my angle, or I'm going to choose to do this because I can feel it. But whatever one suits me today, we're going to go ahead and curl up and toe tap the left leg or the other leg, okay? So I'm going to curl up and I'm going to tap, and then I'll bring it back in. I'm going to curl up and tap. That helps me get my rectus on top of my psoas. You can do it the other way where you tap and pull in. That's totally fine. It's just not what I'm preferring for. So just know if you ever do that in class, that's fine. 6, 7, and then I'm going to twist towards that moving leg first. So I'm going to toe tap, and I'm going to add that twist for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'll twist to the other leg. I'm going to twist to the other direction and pull it back in. 2, guys, that looks so good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm gonna go back through the center, and with effort, I'm gonna send that leg out. I'm gonna curl up. I like to tap my heel, but you don't have to. That for me, it helps my butt work and helps open up my psoas, which has been a problem in my life. 4, 3, 2, and then again, I'm gonna twist towards that moving leg first to kind of make sense of it. I'm gonna twist towards it, and I'm gonna send it on its way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hello twisty leg, 6, 7, and then when I send it out, I'm going to twist the other way for 8, good, 7, you are so fierce, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then the last thing is I'm going to come up through the middle. I'm going to take that straight leg and I'm going to drop it down and then lift it back up. And see, I started tucking in. So what I'm doing is I'm going to check my angles again. 3, oh, that's so much harder. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to twist towards that moving leg. 8, reach, and don't cheat yourself on the way up. 7, 6, 5, 4, oh man, 3, 2, and then I'm going to twist towards the non-moving leg for 8, stretch it, 7, you're in the home stretch, 6, you're not quitters, look at you, 5, you're fierce warriors, 4, 3, 2, 1, good, and now we can set our feet down. So back to the beginning where you take a leg open and pull it back in and then switch. Hopefully you can feel now that it's been exerted how amazing that even just moving your body, pulling everything in can help make everything stay super healthy and good. I just can't believe how fast time went. So we're gonna stretch on the foam roller, but 2 options. So you can use the foam roller to prop yourself up if your back's tight. But other than that, this is a good stretch too, where I take my legs up and I use my tired core and I roll over to stretch. So again, you can do this on here too, to roll over and stretch. Totally up to what your body's up to. And I want people to know there's always options. And I started feeling comfortable saying to do this because I had people saying, can we stretch like that? I'm like, yeah, I love that. That should feel good. Yep, up and over. Okay, so then it would be nice to sneak your foam roller close. Yes. And then things like this. So where you guys are go-getters. So stretching can be very passive, and it kind of is in nature. So I'm gonna give us a little more active work. So I'm gonna pick a leg. I'm gonna do a camera leg because it's closer. And what I wanna do is I'm gonna go behind my joint because I'm hypermobile and I'll stretch that. This leg's just kind of floating. He's doing whatever. And I'm gonna pull. So I'm trying to get length directly from here to here, and then I'll back off. And I want to give it a little pull here. Julie, I'm so sorry about arms. I don't know what happened. Time got away. I promise I'll remember next time. Good. Now I'm going to give like little heartbeats. I'm going to go boom, boom, boom to get a little bit of a stretch. And then I'm going to work my way up to my, my ankle area, and I'm going to hold it and give it one big pull, and hopefully you still feel like your whole leg. But if you ever feel behind the knee, let me know, because that'll be your stretching the back of your joint, and you know, not ideal. So yeah, good. So I'm gonna send that opposite leg out, and I'm really just gonna reach for the stars, creating a lot of space. And you see they're connected, so that's about as much as I got. But as much as I can actively reach out and reach, I'll get some good mobility. Good. And then I'll go ahead and fold this leg over. I'm gonna hug it in. So I don't get as much of a hip flexor stretch when I'm really pulled in here, and so when I angle like this, I can change the apex so my other hip is sitting on top of the foam roller, and that feels good. But since our hips are different shapes, our muscles are a little different inside of us, feel free to play with what that feels like. And your body's so smart, it'll tell you exactly what you need. And then to kind of open up again, I'll take my hand and I'll open this up so I can get that inner thigh, because we did a lot of midline work. And the game that we play within our bodies as I want it to be strong, but not tight. So we walk a fine line. And then I'll go ahead and fold this over and then bring the booty in. It ran away. I love that blue color. And then I'll go ahead and hug myself in. Perfect. And then same game on the other side. So this leg is just floating. And then I grab behind the knee. I'm checking my alignment because my knees like to turn out. Some like to drop in. Mine just like to turn out lately. Good. And I'll pull it in. And again, I'm really feeling just the hamstring. And I'm actually squishing my quad onto my belly. And then as I feel comfortable and as I'm getting that little heartbeat, pulling it in, and it doesn't hurt. It feels like I'm getting something that I wouldn't get necessarily without a little extra. Then I'll work my way up to my ankle after I drop here in my face. And then as I feel comfortable, I'll pull and then I'll let that ride away so that I can get a 2-for-1 a little bit. And they're attached. They move together. But again, trying to get as much space. And then we'll fold this one over, and this is a better angle. I'm not getting much of a stretch, and if you do, that's awesome. But if I change myself here, it puts gravity right on top, and that's how I open up the best. And that active leg. And then I'll take it open to the side so I get the adductor all the way into here. If you ever get a massage and you have them do your psoas, they start kind of around the groin. Just a heads up, it feels like tissue paper is tearing, but it does help. And then I'll fold it over. But we can kind of do self-care before we get to that point. I'll pull it in. Awesome. Oh, you look so good. Okay, so then I would go ahead and do inner thighs, because again, midline. So I take the legs out to the side, and one angle out versus the angle up. Whatever one feels best, that's what you need. Good. Oh, you're so flexible. And then I would bring it back to your hamstrings again, and now you have double stuff, and then kind of stretching out your back. Kind of double duty that. And again, please correct me as your body goes. But the things I've been working on is hamstrings have been short because we have to sit in chairs. And you know, it's life. But then technology, phones, computers are here. Driving, eating, even things that are not. So I've been just trying to do those patterns. So I'm on this kick. So what I like to do is I like to work down and stretch out. But if it ever hurts or compresses, or you feel like the wind's knocked out of you, those are signs that the body just doesn't like it right now. But if it feels like a stretch, then that's good. So legs straight is actually harder on the back. But again, if your back is happy, it's fine. It feels good. It feels like a stretch. So just walk in easily. And then what I do is I work my way up. And then I try to stretch over it. And by the way, at like 27, I could not do this. And then I work up and stretch a little bit more. But since we did so much shortening here, I don't want you to leave like, whoo. I want you to be strong without having being tight and knotted. That looks awesome. Julie, that's pretty. Cynthia, your neck and elbows look pretty. Your body's kind of gone, but you look very good too. Good. And again, I'm looking to feel good. I don't want it to hurt because I don't like hurting, but I do like working on things that don't get worked on as much. And then as you kind of ease down, if you want to love yourself on your neck, and you can kind of put a little pressure into your neck, but nothing that hurts, but just like massagey, and kind of go back and forth. We did not work out, like we didn't do push-ups and stuff, so you can stretch your arms. I did not because we kind of didn't really touch those too much today, but it's totally acceptable if you want to. Yeah. Now I want to take a nap. I feel better.